my name is Kristen. Thank you for joining in. Today we're going to draw a picture of a bison. This was inspired by my son, who took a picture of a bison on the side of the road on our fun trip to South Dakota. We're going to start with drawing the face, and then we're going to draw part of the body, and the bison is laying down. If you like these videos, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so you can get updates when I put new videos out. Okay, so we're gonna start with drawing the eye, and the first thing I always talk about is placement. So where is the eye gonna be located on your piece of paper? So if you look from each side, you're gonna go to the center, and if you're looking from up and down, you're gonna be almost in the center, but it's going to be just a tad bit higher than the center. And to start with the eye, we're just going to do a curved shape that goes up and over, and then we'll curve underneath. Inside the eye, we're going to put a small curve, and then we're going to add a little shape in here that's going to be the glare in his eye, in the bison's eye. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we'll do his nose. So for the nose, we're going to take our finger from the eye and go diagonal, and then we're going to start our nose right about there. And we'll start with the top part of his nose. So I'm going to make a line that goes up to the left, and I'm going to make a small diagonal line. Now we're going to curve in to the right a little bit. We'll stop there. And I'm going to make a line go up, just a little diagonal, and then over to the right. Then I'm going to curve down a little and then curve right back up, and we're just going to make these two lines meet. So we'll make a small curve over here. The inside of the nose, a little bit above the middle, we're going to curve our line, not quite to the edge, and then I'm going to dip down and go up and down. And then we're going to curve in towards the middle of the nose and then curve back out. On the very side here, I'm going to make a curve to show the other part of the nostril. And then underneath, we're going to add two little humps. 1, 2. And then below that, we're going to add the bottom part of his mouth. So we're going to make a diagonal line, and then a couple of little curvy lines. And then we're going to go up to the top of the mouth. And in the middle of the two humps that we made, we're just going to put a little line. Okay. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make the side of his face. So I'm going to draw a line that curves out just a little bit. And we're going to go up to about where the eye is, and then we're going to start to curve in just a very little bit. And then we're going to curve back out. And that's going to be where his other eye is on the other side, which we can't see very good. And then we're going to curve back in just a little bit here. I'm going to put a couple of eyelashes here to show where his other eye would be. Okay, and now we'll do the top of his head. And so it's going to be a U shape right here, but I'm actually going to make this U shape that you can see that I'm making with my finger into what looks like a little bit of hair. So there's a lot of little zigzag lines here, but I'm taking my pen in that same U-shape pattern that I showed you with my finger as I'm making these zigzags, or maybe they're little M's, little angled lines. Put a couple right there. Okay, and then I stopped where his horn is going to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to draw the horn on the right-hand side. And so at the very top, right before that poof in his, the top of his head that we just did starts, I'm going to make a curved line that goes up and over to the left. And then the tip is thin, and then it kind of gets wider at the bottom as we curve down towards his head. And then I'm going to make another horn on the other side. Okay, and I'm just gonna do, these horns kind of face each other. So we're gonna curve this one over towards the one that we just did. And again, the top of it is very thin and it gets a little bit thicker towards the bottom. And we're gonna go in towards his head here, towards his eye actually. And then I'll make a curved line right here for the bottom, and then 2 small curves to finish it off. Okay, right next to the horn is going to be his ear. So this is just going to be a curve that goes off to the left. Kind of a sideways U shape there. And right in the middle, I'm just going to put a curved line to show the center of his ear. Okay, and on the outside of his horn, his left horn, I'm actually going to make the outside of his body. Again, I'm going to show you with my finger, we're going to do a big curve, but we're going to do it with those same angled lines that we did before, just to signify that hair is right here. Okay, and then I'm going to do another smaller curve right here, and it's going to go to the end of the paper. Again, that same technique with the hair. Now, next to his eye, I'm going to make an upside down U shape right above his eye here. And it's going to connect to the left part of his eye, or almost connect. Okay, and then underneath that, and right above his eye, I'll make a diagonal line, and then a small curved line right next to it. Now I'm going to make some hair here, and then this curve is actually going to go down towards his nose, showing the hair. I'll make a curved line all the way down to the center of his nose approximately. And then we're going to just add a little bit of hair in his face here, below the eye, going towards the edge of his nose. Okay, and then let's make his chin here, kind of poofs out a lot. And this we're also going to make look like hair. So you can see this little line that I just did here with a little bit of zigzag. And then this is going to be curved on the bottom. Same technique with the hair. Just going to make some angled lines in that curved shape. And then it's actually going to go off to the left. And right here, we're actually going to go down towards the bottom, but not to the bottom. And this is going to show like his foot, because he's like laying on the ground here. And so we're going to curve this down to the bottom of the page. And then next to his ear, we're going to add some hair just to show the shape of his face. So again, I'm going to do this, watch my finger curve all the way down to about where we just were before. We're going to make some angled lines for the hair. Okay, and then we're also going to add a little bit of round shape right here. So this will show his hair with squiggly lines curved up towards the top part of his body that we did before. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of hair in here, going the direction that his fur would be. So I'll make straight lines, a couple of angled lines, maybe some M shapes, W shapes, V shapes, just to show his hair up top here, and some straight lines maybe. Okay, and then I'm going to add, this would be like kind of where his shoulder is and his arm that's sitting on the ground here. So it's just a curved line towards the left side of the page. And then I'm just going to add a few more spots of hair. You can add your hair in different places if you'd like, but try to keep it in the direction that the hair would be facing. And that completes the drawing portion of our video. Next, we're going to go on to using chalk pastel in order to color him in. Okay, I'm gonna start with coloring his horns. And I'm gonna use a gray and white. And these are pastel pencils, which are very nice. And I also am using the square pastels. But we're gonna start with the gray with the horns. Now when you're using chalk pastel, you have to remember that it will spread very easily, so you don't wanna smudge it. So we're just gonna start coloring the horn, and I'm gonna get the edges here with the gray, and then I'm gonna color the other side white. So I'm actually gonna use just a little bit of gray and then make some lines. Next, I'm going to do his eye, and we're going to color the center circle white, and on the very edge is going to be white, and then in the middle of the eye we'll color a dark black. Next, I'm going to start coloring in some light spots on his body. So we're gonna go around the edges and use a lighter color here. I'm gonna use a darker brown, and this is going to cover most of his body here. Now I'm gonna blend these color a bit. I'm gonna use a tool here to blend. You could also use just a Q-tip. Now I'm going to darken the face a little bit in some of the places that we put the hair before. The face portion of the buffalo right here is going to be a little bit darker than the back part of him. So I'm going to actually just start adding some black where the hair was and redefining some of those lines, and then I'll start shading it a little bit too with black, and then I'll also use like a darker brown. Now as we're coloring this, I want you to keep in mind you want to keep your hand a little bit off of the paper, because otherwise you're going to smudge the spots that you've colored already. Okay, the inside of his nose, we're going to use a little bit of white and black. I'll start with the white. So I'm just going to make a little patch of white here. I'm going to put some around the edges. And then I'm going to sort of go around the white right here with my black. Okay, now on the this curved part of his nose, I'm going to go extra dark. And the same right here. And I'm going to start lightening it and sort of blend in with the brown there. Add a little bit of white for glare on his nose. Okay, we are finished with the coloring portion. Thank you for joining. And again, if you like these videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.